Let's take focus now back to commodities and to spices, which are our major area today. Jeera prices, if you look at them today, was trading weak on higher than expected supplies and expectations of a greater area under cultivation, which is hurting the sentiment. Sentiment is also down as sowing activities will pick up in some days and the total area is likely to increase this time around. Take a look at the turmeric prices, which are also down on large carry-forward stocks and lower than expected export demand and also conducive weather for the sown crop. On your screens, 0.5% of a decline coming in for that one as well today. The black pepper, in the meanwhile, is firm on consistent demand from stockists and retailers. To talk about the spices and how they have performed in the previous year and how does the near future look for them, for that, let's get on board Vijay Bambani, who's author and CEO at BSPL India. Joining us is Yogesh Mehta, who's founder Spice Exim, for their expert take on spices. Yogesh, hi, let's start with you first. And what's your sense, first of all, coming in for the black pepper? Because that is one commodity that has been in controversy. We have seen a lot of warehouse stock go waste, and there has been a rise in price because of that as well.
Actually, in India, there is no much stocks available. The crop was less. The world consumption, the world stock, crop was also less. The demand is there. And we said that the firmness in the prices from here, minimum $500 per ton till the new crop arrives during Jan-Feb.
Yogesh, would you continue to be as bullish as we head into the new year and new season as well? How would you look at the prices in the Indian markets? What is the range you're working with?
I see Indian prices should touch between 500 to 525 by middle of Jan 2014.
Vijay, how is it looking on charts though? Are you equally bullish coming in for the black pepper prices?
Manisha, I think volatility in the coming year is likely to be given, and given another 3 to 5% decline, my guess is stability will start being witnessed across the board in almost all spices. And I would agree that given a decline of 3 to 5% from here, accumulation in black pepper does seem to make sense, provided you're buying the mid or far month contracts rather than the prompt month series, because in spite of the higher cost of carry, I think it would make sense to go in for the mid or far month futures.
Well, we have seen some gains coming in for turmeric as well. That has been one commodity which actually has seen more gains than losses there. Yogesh, how have you seen the turmeric prices in the previous year, and what's your sense now going forward in sense of demand as well as cost?
The last year almost the prices of turmeric was stable. This year also the prices are stable. The new crop also looks very smaller than the last 2 years, but we have a very good carry forward stocks. So we don't think any further movement here, 5 rupees up and down will be there, not much. The market will remain steady for the next year.
Vijay, how are you looking at the turmeric prices? Because this week really has been great. 6% of gains coming in for this week itself, but whether the euphoria can continue.
Manisha, turmeric is not a commodity that is in a short supply or cultivation of which is really much of a problem. So if it starts to approach 5,000 or even crosses 5,000 marginally, I think supply would start to come in. I would feel comfortable buying it between the band of 4,400 to maybe 4,600 levels. That's where the downside potential would be curbed, and therefore the higher margin of comfort at that price.
Let's also get another guest on board, and we are now joined by Mr. M.L. Parekh, who's President, IPSTA, and he joins us on a phone line from Cochin with his expert take on all of those spices. Mr. Parekh, hi, welcome aboard. What's your sense now coming in for pepper and turmeric? Because these are the two commodities we just discussed with our guests, and while it's going to be range-bound for turmeric, most of our guests are bearish or rather bullish coming in for the black pepper prices.
Yeah, tell me.
How are you looking at the black pepper prices going forward from these current levels?
Black pepper prices are bullish actually. In fact, because our crop, the coming crop is also very, very poor because of the rain pattern is very, very bad. It is raining continuously from July onwards, and which is rather affecting the crop, in fact. The crop being affected because continuous rains are not good, because the vines should get little rest after certain heavy rains, which has not happened this year. And because of that, the lot of leaves are there, but the production is not there, and the fungus has come on the pepper vines, in fact.
So, Mr. Parekh, looking at all of that, what you're saying, do you see pepper prices running higher from these current levels?
Definitely it will run very, very, very high because of the coming crop being very failure. Last year our crop was around about 50,000 tons. And this year we don't even expect 35 to 40,000 tons.
All right. And how much of a run-up in prices do you expect? Would you say 5%, 7%? What are you expecting?
No, it cannot be. It is just a speculation, but then it can cross even 500 rupees.
Mm-hmm.
That means around, say, 10% it can go up at least.
Let's talk about cumin prices now, which also have been under pressure on higher than expected supplies. It also has to do with the sowing, which has started in Gujarat and Rajasthan, would start next week, and that perhaps would put further pressure on the prices. But for a longer term outlook, Mr. Yogesh Mehta, how are you looking at the prices from here on?
The market will remain range bound. We do not see any kind of a firmness in the market of cumin seed because we had bumper to bumper crop for last 2 years. The demand is totally right now is black. The prices are going to remain same.
Vijay, what's your sense now coming in for Jeera prices? Because while Mr. Mehta says it's going to be a range-bound trend, what's the kind of levels you're working with?
Manisha, I'm not getting a clear kind of a sense of direction finding in Jeera. So my guess is I would like to sit on the fence. Unless I get prices below the 11,250 levels, I would not venture out to buy. And on the flip side, at close to 13,800, 14,000 odd levels, I might venture out to sell. But these are limits. The levels that I'm talking about are way beyond the current price trends and current price levels. And only significant price moves from here could trigger off a trade in as far as I'm concerned. So I'm sitting on the fence on Jeera right now.
Yogesh, another space or other spice rather, which has been very, very choppy this year has been the dhania prices or rather the coriander prices. We have seen huge ups and downs coming in for that one. What are the fundamentals you are watching and what price impact do you see of that?
I see a very bullish trend in coriander seeds. Except India, no other country in the world is having any kind of a stocks. So in my opinion, the prices of coriander should touch 100 rupees within 30 to 45 days.
And going forward, if you ask for a longer term, 3 to 6 months, how would you see the prices?
It will be a bullish trend.
5% up, yeah.
Yeah, because the other origins crop only will arrive during June and July 2014. Till that time, only India is going to be a supplier. Eastern European prices were $1,200 and today they are quoting around $2,000. Morocco coriander was traded around $1,200 to $1,400. Today they are quoting $1,700. So there are no stocks available in the world, so it's a one way.
All right, and that clearly is seen in the prices as well. 5% up this week, and Vijay, how is it looking on charts?
Manisha, I've been talking about food prices inflating in the Indian context, and I've been looking at the charts of coriander for the last couple of quarters, or I would even venture out a couple of years, and this is one commodity which has been beating inflation hand over fist. So I would agree with our guest here that coriander does look bullish, and buying the dip seems to be the way to go forward. Here again, I would say if there's liquidity available in the mid and farm month futures, I would venture out farm month futures, preferably even paying a premium for them, because the price on the charts, the pattern on the charts does appear to be that of a rising tops and rising bottoms formation, and it's a fairly long-term trend that's been building up. I think it's likely to have legs even for further upsides from here.
While in the futures market, we don't have very big volumes when it comes to chili, Mr. Mehta, but how have you seen the trend there?
Chili, almost market, in my opinion, will remain same as it is because the new crop is supposed to be arriving during January. The crop looks satisfactory. Right now, we do not have much demand in exports, so I do not think any change in the price of chili.
Vijay, what's your sense? At these current levels, how would you want to trade it?
Manisha, I have no opinion on chili at these present prices, so I'd like to pass this commodity off.
All right, so that's the view really coming in for these commodities. Mr. Mehta and Vijay do feel that there is lots of bullishness expected in case of coriander and pepper prices, but as far as turmeric, chili and jeera are concerned, perhaps a range-bound move is more like it in the coming 1 year. Yogesh and Vijay, thank you so much for joining us with your sense on spices. With that, let's also get in a voice from Azleen Ahmed, who's editor crude oil markets. And remember, the crude oil prices are headed for the worst week in last 4 months. Azleen, what's your sense as the crude prices decline now? Where do you see the prices headed in the near term?
The main reason that prices have been falling the last month, actually, a lot is because of rising Libyan production. Libyan production in September fell a lot to as low as 150,000 barrels per day, and that was because of labor protests at all facilities. But since then, the production has resumed, and right now it's about 700,000 barrels per day. So that's been a big reason that has pushed oil prices lower.
All right, further declines not ruled out. 3.5% already down in crude prices in this week itself. Azleen, thank you so much for joining us with your sense. More bearishness expected in case of energy space in the days to come.